Today we're doing a garage vlog and it will be installing the CSF Radiator, OEM water pump, thermostat, idler pulleys, and serpentine belt on this red Tacoma. If you follow the channel, I've already done it on the white Tacoma, but this is a new truck, different video. So we'll jump right into it and knock it out. Now, one of the main things that I didn't go over on my video with my truck was these idler pulleys and the serpentine belt, because I've done it in the past a long time ago. So basically this is going to be your replacement belt right here, and on your Tacoma 4.0 V6 you'll have a tensioner that's right next to the alternator. They don't sell the pulley by itself, they only sell the entire tensioner assembly, which is a couple $100, and it's very hard to change. Now luckily some guys on Tacoma World have already done the research, and you can buy just the bearing where you can press it out of the pulley itself and throw it back in. So you're essentially replacing the wearable item, and this is going to be the part number right here. I will link the links for everything in the description below for this truck. And right here you're gonna have one idler pulley and two of the same. So there's gonna be 4 pulleys, well 3 replaced, 1 serviced. Here you have your water pump with the associated gaskets, replacement thermostat. I always change the fan clutch when I'm in there. These are wearable. It's already gonna be removed to replace this stuff, so might as well change it while it's apart. 3 gallons of coolant, that's what I used when I did my truck. It's going to be 2 gallons if you're only changing the radiator and not the water pump, so keep that in mind. And then upper lower radiator hose, and of course the CSF radiator. This thing is actually very well put together. I put it on my truck and I love it, so that's kind of how we ended up here. The customer saw it and wanted me to do it, and so right now I'm just letting the engine cool it down. He had about an hour drive to get to me, so I'm trying to make sure that there's no pressure when I take the radiator cap off. Okay, I've got the snap-on radiator socket on the drain plug for the radiator, and then this hose is going down into a bucket. So this will be the first step that we're doing to get this radiator removed. All right, now I'm just unthreading it by hand, and I got a nice stream. From here we're going to time lapse it, and I'll be taking off the intake, the shroud, serpentine belt, fan clutch, and get right into removing the trans lines off this deal and starting to remove the water pump and thermostat. Wanted to take a moment and show you guys some things, that way you can inspect on your own. You see those cracks on that serpentine belt? This thing is ready to be replaced. I mean, you could even see some more down there. So anytime I get to about 100,000, I'll replace it no matter what. But if you don't know how many miles are on your truck, just look at the serpentine belt itself and look for cracks. Now for pulley replacement, we got 1, 2 up here, and then 3 on the bottom. So the 2 on top are the same part number. The one on the bottom is its own part number. This one is the tensioner pulley. We will be removing this and changing the bearing only. And this is left-hand thread, so you'll actually go left to take that bolt off. And then we'll press the pulley in and out pretty quick. And then swap out the thermostat right here, a couple 10 millimeters. And the water pump will be a little bit more involved, but not too bad. I'll show you a little bit more once I get there. Now, last but not least, you see that pink thing right there? That is the factory radiator failing. That is coolant that's been seeping out of one of the rows and been drying before it runs down to the bottom. But this radiator was 100% on the way out. I don't really see anything else, but this was definitely a cause for concern. Well, that was quick and easy. Just had to remove this thermostat housing assembly, back it off that pipe right there. That way you have room to get the water pump out, because the water pump actually sits between this piece and the block. And then we've got the water pump right here. And similar to the radiator, this water pump was also failing. You can see the buildup of coolant right here. So it's coming out of the weep hole that is designed to do that, so that way you can keep an eye on it. And once this is beginning to fail, if you look underneath, you know, with the light at, you know, the right angle, you can see this without even taking everything apart. So another piece that we are replacing right on time before it left the customer stranded. From here, it's going to be a lot of cleaning. We've got to clean the mating surface really, really well. Change out a couple of O-rings. There's one O-ring on that pipe. There's the thermostat we have to swap out. Then we could put the water pump on, replace the 3 bearings, and then change the bearing itself on this pulley. From there, we'll throw the radiator in, hoses, and then we could do the fan clutch, shroud, and fill it up with coolant and fire it up. And one more thing I wanted to mention before I put this back together, you can see the silicone on the end of these threads. So Toyota put silicone on these, which goes in the larger holes on the water pump. And so what I do is I wire wheel these off with the drill. So I'll clean all the gunk off, and then when I'm inserting them, I'll put a dab of silicone and torque it down. The 10 millimeters don't have it, but for whatever reason, all of the 12 millimeters that come off the water pump do. I didn't record cleaning the mating surfaces because it's pretty boring, but basically you get Scotch-Brite and clean all the way around where the new gasset's going to sit. And then you'll have to swap out that O-ring back there. I like to use a little bit of O-ring lubricant so that way it slides into the housing when you put it on and you're not fighting a dry O-ring. And then aside from that, you've got to clean this mating surface. I found it's easier to do it without this piece being bolted down. And then last but not least, right here where you see my finger in a circle, you can see where you have to clean it. It's going to go on the water pump. So the water pump is going to sit right here. And you can also see right here. So we put this O-ring in, and so it's going to go sit on the block. And then this piece right here with the 3 screws is where this goes. So you have to leave this housing loose while you slide the water pump in. Once you get some of the bolts situated for the water pump, then you can slide this down and forward and seat everything. So the 10 millimeters, again, they don't take any thread sealant. I'm just going to start with those to hold the water pump, and then we'll do the thread sealant on the 12s later. But for now, we'll just run some of the 10s in and get everything kind of put together before it's all torqued. So I have a press. This would normally take me a few seconds, but I'm going to show you how to do it with some sockets. First, you want one that's going to be the exact size to press it in, and then you want one that's going to be the exact size to knock it out. So right here, we're going to knock out the old bearing. All right. So it's hitting the ground because it's flush now, so I'm gonna get a bigger socket. And you can really do it with anything that'll accept the bearing to drop in. All right, so here we go. We have the old bearing, and this is the new bearing. And again, I will have these links in the description below. So right here, we'll just clean it real quick. Won't hurt to clean. And then we'll knock the new one in. So you don't want to put something like this right on the black. You'll destroy the bearing cover. So we're going to hit it like this, where it's pretty much a 1-to-1 of the outer ring. You'll know when it's completely set, when it's right up against this inner lip. There's really nowhere else for it to go. So there you go. You have a new bearing in the original pulley, and you don't have to buy a $300 tensioner. I think this is like 10, 20 bucks. I'm not sure how much the bearing is, but either way, it's a lot cheaper and it only takes a few seconds to swap out. And just in case you missed it, this is the pulley that goes right here onto the tensioner. So that is actually bolted to a bracket that goes behind the alternator and the air compressor. It is a ton of work to change that. If your tensioner still has a really good spring, then you don't need to replace it. You could just do this simple swap and put everything back together. And also, I just remembered I misspoke earlier in the video. This is indeed a left-hand threaded bolt that holds the pulley to the tensioner, but you'll want to go right to remove it. So normally right is tightening. In this case, it's removing, and then you're gonna go left on the opposite way around. So left to install, and don't forget, because if you do it the other way around, all you're going to be doing is over tightening that bolt, and you can strip it out because it is aluminum. I didn't record this part because it's very easy, but we got the belt back on. We got the new pulleys, the new bearing in that one pulley, routed everything, and put a nut just to hold this pulley for now so it doesn't come out. But it is all routed under tension, and there's just a couple things to go over. One, I already transferred over the clamps from the old hoses right onto the spot where they were on the other hoses, so it could just be installed relatively easy. Two, we have the new fan clutch installed. I just transferred over the nuts and the fan from the old one, so that was just really quick and easy. And then last, you've got these bushings and little sleeve combos that are going to be transferred over from the old radiator, so you have to take them out. You could just grab this with some pliers and it comes out. So this is the sleeve that goes into the bushing, and then from here you pull the bushing out. And don't mix up the lower and the upper. The upper has a little hook, that way it can grab onto the frame when you're installing it. Lowers don't have it, and you can see what I'm talking about right here, where there is these two holes right here. One's for the bolt, the other one's for the hook to rest on, and then you can tighten it all down. We've got 2.5 gallons in this thing. On my truck, it took like 2.5, 2.8. That's if you're doing a full water pump and thermostat job. If you're just changing out the radiator, it's about 2 gallons, give or take. So right now we're gonna fire it up, turn the heater on all the way so that we can get the heater core flowing and burp out all the air bubbles. Then once that's done, we will top off the reservoir, put the filter back on, and call it done. So let's do it.